All right, here we go. Banky Panky. It's a Daily Mail headline. Turns out Hunter Biden has set up an account with a very corrupt Malta bank that had to close. Learning that from more from the Hunter Biden laptop. Joining us now is Texas Congressman Wesley Hunt, who was a member of the Judiciary Committee. Mr. Wesley Hunt, thank you, sir, coming back to us. This is some new, it's just more corruption, right? He's dodging everything. He puts it in a corrupt Malta bank. Where do we think that money went anyway? Where do you think that money went?
Well, first of all, let's talk about how much money that was. That's $10 million. That's actually real money. $10 million is $9 million more than $1 million. And so when you think about the corruption of this family, it just continues to just mount up more and more. And the American public, they're absolutely sick of this two-tier justice system. Could you imagine if this were the Trump family? Could you imagine if this were Donald Trump Jr., what would be happening right now? And as we look at his laptop and all the information that's coming out of it, where's the DOJ? Where's Merrick Garland? And I think the American public is owed an explanation for exactly where this $10 million went, where it came from, and what was the compensation for it.
You know, Wesley, we just talked to Jonathan Turley, the great attorney. Where's the special counsel here? I mean, stuff is mounting up. And what about the FBI, sir? The FBI hiding this stuff as long as they could with these so-called 1023s. Apparently, there's more 1023s out there. You're on Judiciary. You can tell us. But the fact is they've been protecting Joe Biden. They're not protecting American taxpayer interests.
They're absolutely not. And also, this is the same FBI that raided the home of President Trump. This is the same all these three-letter agencies that have been weaponized against political opponents is what we are sick and tired of seeing. And I can assure you that Jim Jordan, who is the chair of my committee, and working with him moving forward about getting to the bottom of these things and expose these people for exactly who they are. And I think a lot of people are kind of fed up with government in general, because the first thing I always get is, well, what are you going to do about it? Here's what we're going to do about it. We're going to have hearings. We're going to allow the American public to see what's going on, so we have exactly 18 months to right this ship and make sure that we have a Republican president, House, and Senate.
What happens next with the Burisma thing? I mean, I guess everybody wants to know, do these phone call tapes exist, you know, presumably from the CEO of Burisma, 2 calls to Vice President Biden at the time, and 15 calls to Hunter Biden, who he said was too dumb to call. When are we going to find out about these phone tapes? Because this is perhaps the most dramatic part of this corruption operation.
Sooner than later, and the fact that we know that these tapes exist, there's going to be a lot of downward pressure from the American public to say, hey, what was actually said? What was the quid pro quo here? And then what's going to be done about it? And again, this is actually about exposure. This is about exposing them for exactly who they are, and then pointing out, why are we going after President Trump and Trump's family and not doing the same thing to the Bidens and to the Clintons? We know the answer to that, but we have got to make sure that the American public knows and understands this. What was that $10 million about? We all know that Hunter Biden is certainly not qualified to sit on any energy board. And as the energy congressman of the world here in Houston, Texas, he will not be on any board here. And so what was that money really for? Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's get to the bottom of these phone calls so we can have full transparency for the American public.
And Congressman, I know it's a cliche, but, I think the swamp has to be drained. And we were talking to Kim Strassel of the Wall Street Journal Friday night. You know, a good thing out of this, of the Trump indictment, if there is such a thing, Mr. Trump and DeSantis and others are talking about a thoroughgoing reform, no more civil service tenure, for example, and, of course, trying to straighten up the FBI and the CIA. I mean, that could be a good thing that comes out of this, no?
I can't agree more with you. And what's music to my ears is the idea of us actually going after some of these agencies and asking some of these bureaucrats. So you've been here for 30, 40 years, but what have you done? We have got to get to the bottom of it.
Congressman Wesley Hunt, you are terrific, sir. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.